Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. The day is finally here when we get to talk about the brand new Les Beiges Water Fresh complexion products from Chanel. I think I first saw sneak peek images of the blushes over a year ago at least. Well, yesterday they finally launched in the US on Chanel.com and the beauty boutiques. So I ran over to my local boutique and I picked up a few pieces. So here I have the new Les Beiges Water Fresh Complexion Touch. And I was told this is not replacing the Water Fresh tint. I think Chanel has been dealing with a lot of inventory and stock issues as well as shipping delays. So it should be restocked soon. It's not going anywhere. This is in addition to the Water Fresh Touch. And then I also picked up 3 of the 6 new blushes. I went with warm pink, light pink, and the intense coral. But when I was in store, I was able to swatch all 6 shades, so you'll be able to see all 6 of the shades. The Les Beiges Water Fresh Complexion Touch retails for $65, so it's the same price as the Water Fresh tint, except it's available in 16 different shades, and I think this is one of the more notable differences between the two. Among the available shades, you also have different undertones. It's available in beige, beige rose, and beige doré. It's described as a first-of-its-kind versatile makeup product infused with ultra-concentrated micro-droplet pigments. The medium coverage formula offers customizable application, so you can conceal specific areas or apply all over the face for a more flawless, incredibly natural-looking finish. It's composed of 60% water and it contains antioxidant-rich ingredients. It has jasmine extract to help shield skin from pollution and emollients such as tamarind extract, which is known for its hydrating properties. So it's going to leave the complexion looking plump, fresh, and well-rested, similar to the Water Fresh tint. The Water Fresh Complexion Touch contains 0.7 fluid ounces of product. So you can see it's certainly a slimmer bottle. You do have less product, but you have more pigment. So that's another one of the big differences. More shades, more pigment than the original Water Fresh tint. It also comes with a little baby brush. The Water Fresh tint also came with a brush. I don't know where it is. I know it's somewhere. But this is a very small, I guess, stippling brush. I probably would only use this if I was going to conceal certain spots on the face as a travel concealer brush. I think this is going to be incredible. I love the density. I love the dome shape. It's kind of perfect for underneath the eye, maybe around the nose, certain spots. But I don't think I would use this to cover the entire face. That would just take far too long. But you do also get a little brush. Before I apply this all over my face and do a very natural makeup look for the day, I am going to do half of my face with the Complexion Touch and then half with the original Water Fresh tint, just so we can see what the difference is, because both are intended to be incredibly natural, minimal. Both are going to give that almost gel, watery finish. You can see both bottles contain the micropigments suspended in gel. I just want to squeeze them out. I'm going to do 1 pump each and we'll see what the difference is just looking at it. Ooh. So Complexion Touch, I have B30. In the Water Fresh tint, I have shade medium. This is Water Fresh tint and this is Complexion Touch. This is much older, so maybe that's why it's a little bit runnier, but I would say that is immediately a difference. The shades are pretty comparable. I think the medium is actually a little bit darker, certainly spreading a lot further. But there are only, I think, 6 or 7, maybe 8 shades in the Water Fresh tint. So it's really meant to be very sheer. It doesn't have to be an exact match. Water Fresh tint, Complexion Touch. I'm actually surprised because both are very wet, of course, but I'm not seeing as big of a difference in the pigment as I thought I was going to. So let me just take a paper towel. I'm just going to try to blot. Very curious. The Water Fresh tint and the Complexion Touch don't look that different pigment-wise. Shade-wise, they are certainly different. But I suppose if you were doing 1 pump of each, this is going to spread across the entire face. You might need to go in with an additional pump. I'm going to apply both to the face next, but when I look up close on my hand, the level of pigment looks nearly identical. I'm going to begin with the product we're already familiar with, the Beige Water Fresh Tint. I'm going to apply that to this half of the face using my Laura Geller foundation brush. I'm starting with one full pump, and I am just going to buff this all over. That basically covered the entire half of my face. Wow. It has been a long time since I've used this. I remember how gorgeous it is. I still have glow. The finish of my face is exactly the same. It truly does look like skin. Not a huge difference, but you can see the pink in my cheeks is reduced. You can still see freckles, but it does certainly even out the complexion a bit. Next, we're going in with the Complexion Touch. I did a full pump over here, so I'm going to do a full pump on this side of the face. Because it's a smaller bottle, I think you actually get less per pump. On Chanel.com, they described this as medium coverage. The shade difference really isn't noticeable between the medium and the B30. There is a little bit more coverage. There is, but it is not much. It really is not. But I do think I prefer this side. It still looks like skin. Still looks incredibly natural. It doesn't look like I've applied concealer to this half of the face. Doesn't even really look like I'm wearing any foundation. You know where I notice the biggest difference is underneath the eye. Over here, I feel like I can still see a little blue, kind of the under eye circles. But over here, it does look a little bit more even. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be honest, can you really see a difference between the Beige Water Fresh Tint and the Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch? The good news is I really like it, but I really like both. I think both sides look really nice. And if I look really close up, yes, I feel like I do have a sliver more coverage over here. But if I hold the mirror back and I'm not looking really up close, I can't really see a difference. If you're happy with your Water Fresh tint and you have the perfect shade match and you don't really have many skincare concerns, you think it does a great job evening out your complexion, then you should just stick with Water Fresh tint. Now, if you like the idea of a little bit more coverage and perhaps you didn't have a great shade match before, the Complexion Touch is going to be perfect. I can't say there is a huge, incredibly noticeable difference when I look at either side. Little Jazzy wanted to come say hello. I could hear her whining out there. Yesterday, my husband made the mistake of letting her sit on his lap for a few hours while he worked, and now she thinks that she just gets lap time every day. Don't you? Don't you? I have a little bed in here for her, but she doesn't like to sleep on it. So here's little Jazzy. I just did a quick and lazy cleanse. I went in with some makeup remover, and then I went on top of that with the La Tonique from Chanel. And then I applied my daily moisturizer as well. So right now I have nothing on my face again, just a little moisturizer. And I'm going to do a full face of the Complexion Touch. I know there will be people who are disappointed if I don't at least attempt to use this tiny brush. So I'm going to apply with this and see what happens. You know, when you apply with the brush, it doesn't go as far, but it does kind of give you more coverage just because it's so small. It breaks up all of the pigments and kind of keeps them in one place. I'm going to do a little bit on this side just to keep it even. I'm going to try to spread it a little bit further. No, I think that worked better. But see, that was 2 pumps and I only have my cheeks done. I'm going to stop using this. I tried. I think it's a great travel concealer brush. I think for concealer in general, this would be great. But if you're using the Complexion Touch all over the face, which is one of the recommended ways to use it, it doesn't say you just have to use it as a concealer. It says you can spot conceal or apply all over. If you're applying all over, this is not going to be ideal. And then I'm going back with the Laura Geller foundation brush. It is so pretty. I cannot get over this. It really does look like your skin. I would not call this medium coverage though. I would call this sheer coverage. It's still sheer, it's still light. I'm going to try to build this up just a little bit to see if I can get it to medium coverage. So this is now a second layer of product. You know, I think it's just the nature of this product because you have the little micropigments suspended in gel. It's really not meant to be built up on the skin. And I'm going to do the same over here. It's so forgiving. I have pretty big pores, I have fine lines, I have the works, truly. And it is so forgiving on the skin. It really just makes your skin look better. I obviously need some time to play around with these, but my initial thoughts, initial review, I love this. I really am a huge fan of the Complexion Touch in place of my Water Fresh tint. I don't really feel convinced that you need both. For some people, if you're minimal with your makeup, but maybe a little bit more picky, you might insist on having both because you might use this all over the face and then use this as your concealer, but you're just not going to get so much more pigment out of this. I think you really could do one or the other. If you're happy with this, great. If you want something with a little bit more coverage and a better shade range, this Complexion Touch is going to be the way to go. I think if you do get this, you don't necessarily need to keep picking up your Water Fresh tint. They're kind of interchangeable. I mean, let me know what you think. If you try this out and you do a comparison, can you notice a huge difference on the skin? Of course, I'm going to have to see how this wears throughout the day. Perhaps they wear differently. I just have a feeling they're basically the same product. Slight differences, nothing that is noticeable to the eye. Before we move on to the blushes, I want to quickly add just a little concealer. I'm going to go in with this Kosas Revealer. This is the shade 0.5. It's very light. Something teeny tiny, just to brighten up the under eye. I still want to keep this a very minimal look. I like a pretty bright under eye. Here are the 3 shades I picked up of the Water Fresh blush: light pink, warm pink, and intense coral. All of the shades were so pretty. I'm going to insert some swatches so you can see what all 6 shades look like blended out. The 3 shades I skipped are light peach, deep apricot, and deep bronze. If you have a deeper medium to deep skin tone, I think deep apricot and deep bronze would be gorgeous. Light peach was also really beautiful, but there wasn't a huge difference between light peach and light pink, so I just decided to go with light pink. The blushes contain 0.5 fluid ounces, so half of the product in the Water Fresh tint. I almost think that the blushes should come with their own individual brush, not the Complexion Touch. So you can see it has the gel, the little droplets, and you really have to kind of break them up first. So when I smear it around on my hand, now I feel like I can apply it to the face. If you were to just go right in with the gel as soon as you pump it out and try to break up the pigments on top of the makeup, I don't know if that would shift your foundation, or even if you're just using the Water Fresh tint or the Complexion Touch, I think it would kind of shift it around a bit. So I almost think you have to break them up first and then tap it on with your finger. This is light pink. This is warm pink. I'm going to show you what I mean. So this is one full pump. I also don't think you need a full pump. So you can see it has that same texture. It's very liquidy. It's a gel. And the pigments are in there. And if you just do that one initial swirl to blend, it's not properly mixed. So you just have the gel and the pigments. You have to physically break up the pigments. So this is warm pink. The last shade I purchased is Intense Coral. This was so pretty. Definitely a bit deeper. This is not your typical cream blush. It truly is a thin, watery gel. So it would be very difficult to compare these with a cream, which is going to give you more pigment. It's not even like those cream blushes that almost have kind of a tacky balm texture. It's kind of in its own category. I want to demonstrate two shades of the blush since I have two cheeks. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show the third one on the face just yet, so I'll save that for a future video, but at least you could see them all swatched next to each other. So I think warm pink and light pink are the two closest. That way my final makeup won't look too crazy. So I'm going to start with light pink. I did about half a pump on this hand. It definitely shows up, and it is incredibly light and natural. What do you think? Do we like it? Do we not like it? I think if you really don't want people to know you're wearing makeup, for whatever reason, you just want to look like your skin, nothing else, this will be great. I like my blush to have a little bit more color to it. I understand this is meant to be very minimal. I think it could use maybe a touch more pigment. I can see it in this smear. I can't really see a huge difference in the viewfinder. I think I'm going to change the plan. I'm going to go in with Intense Coral on this side because this is the deepest blush out of the three that I purchased. Because I just want to see, if I use a deeper color, will it show up? Because the light pink is very light. Okay, so that is nice. That is a bit deeper. Still looks very natural. But I can see this a lot more than I can see that. It's still pretty light though, isn't it? I do like it. I think it's really pretty. For what it is and what it's intended to do, it's perfect. Whether that's your personal makeup preference or not, that's really going to be up to you. Personally, right now, I would prefer a different cream blush, something that I can really see a little bit more. But I still think I can get plenty of use out of these. I think, you know, if it's a pool day, a beach day, maybe a theme park, maybe you're going to be outdoors, maybe you're exercising outside, going to the gym, you want just a little something on your face, I think it would be perfect. I even think this would be great, maybe Zoom makeup for somebody who is minimal, office makeup, everyday makeup, where it just looks like your complexion. I'm going to try to layer it like I did the Complexion Touch, so I picked up a little bit more of the Intense Coral. That's where I'm placing all of my faith, and I'm going to try to build up the pigment a little bit. It spreads pretty far, so you have to be careful with placement. Do a little bit on the nose, temples. I'm going to finish my makeup for the day using very natural products, so I'm going to use a teeny tiny bit of this Les Beiges cream bronzer. I tend to get a little oily in my T-zone, and I feel like my face looks okay now, but later on it might get a bit too shiny, so I'm going to apply a little bit of the Chanel Les Beiges powder. This is Ultra Sheer So it's not going to add coverage, it's just going to set. And I'm really going to do the under eyes, the T-zone, and that's it. I pulled out my Balm Essential in Pearlescent. I'm going to tap a little bit of this on the cheek. I quickly finished the eyes with a teeny tiny bit of bronzer, and I really went in with a fluffy brush just to the outer half of the crease. It looks like I have barely anything. And then on the lips, I threw on this No. 1 de Chanel Red Camellia Revitalizing Lip and Cheek Balm in the shade No. 2 Healthy Pink. I think lounging by the pool, maybe going to the beach, this would be a really pretty light makeup look. You could probably even skip the mascara and skip the brows. My brows always end up a little bit too dark, even when I try to keep it natural. But I think the skin is really the hero here, and I'm going to lean in nice and close so you can really see what the skin looks like. This is only my first impression, but I love the Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I think it looks so pretty, and now that I have the rest of my makeup done, it does look like a medium coverage. Just because I have a little bit of powder, a little bronzer, the blush of course. All of the products worked really well together, which is important in case you're looking to do more of a full face of makeup using this product. But I would say this is incredible. I prefer this to the Water Fresh tint because I do like a little bit more coverage. I went in with so many pumps of this to really build it up and see if I could build it up. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do any of these other steps. If you just want a little something on the face and get out the door, I think this is great. There are so many uses for it, especially over the summer. I think it's perfect, and it's really compact. You know, it's a pretty small bottle, so it would be easy to travel with this as well. I think if you're going on a fabulous summer vacation, this would be amazing to take with you. The blushes, let's talk about it. I do think that it looks nice overall. I didn't add any other blush to the cheek, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the pigment. If you love that very natural, your skin but better look, this is going to be right up your alley. But I think if you're used to the pigment in a traditional blush, even a traditional cream blush, this might be a disappointment for you. I would say it's not essential. It's not an essential, it really isn't. And after playing around with the two shades, the light pink and the intense coral, I'm not sure how much use I'm gonna get out of the light pink or even the warm pink. Well, the warm pink I'm gonna have to try another time. But the intense coral is really the only shade that I could really see on the cheek. I like to see my blush, and also blush is one of those products that tends to disappear over time on me. I don't know what happens, my skin just drinks it right up. So in a few hours, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see it. I love the shades. I think the colors are really beautiful, but it's not really the type of product that you can even build up on the face. Like if you have a really intense pigmented blush, you could just use less and create a very nice sheer look. You could mix it with something to sheer it out if you wanted to, but then it has the pigment when you need it. Whereas this is light and it will always be light. So it's really up to you. In your makeup collection, maybe you have enough intense blushes that you want something very minimal for summer, in which case this fills a void. That would be great for you to have. It's really just going to depend on how you like your makeup. I like them. I think they're very pretty for their intended purpose. I just want to make that super clear because I don't want anyone to think, oh, well, I like light products. I like natural makeup. But then you get this and you're like, whoa, this is really natural. I'm not joking. I am being incredibly serious when I tell you this is for minimal makeup only. Not light makeup, minimal makeup. No makeup makeup. I think this might be the lightest makeup look I've ever created on my channel, and I like it. I'm happy with it. Let me know what you think. That completes today's initial review of these new products. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found this information helpful. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I would love to hear from you. Are you interested in these products? Have you tried them? Or is this just a skip for you you're going to wait for something down the road? Let us know down in the comment section. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.